All right, so we are here to talk about anxiety. So we're going to really go in and we're going to talk details. But give me 1 second. I'm actually going to just mute one thing. Give me 1 second here, if you will. Guys. All right. So just give you guys a little bit of background on me. I know, recognize obviously some people on here. I don't know everybody, and I'm sure we're going to have many more that come on board. But I just want to go ahead and really just share with everybody. And, if we haven't met, I love supporting people who are motivated to treat their anxiety and mental health holistically. Our talk tonight is called Calm Your Anxiety. It's a new talk that I've done. And I'm going to help you remove unnecessary stress, anxiety from your life without the added pressure of prescription medications. That's my goal today. So I'm just going to try to figure out how to do a little bit of something here. Hang on 1 second. I apologize. Manage participants. All right. Mute all. All right, perfect. So we should be good. Why do I not have audio there? Start video. I apologize. I'm trying to figure out how to get just me showing up here. There we go. All right, perfect. Got it. Excellent. All right. Now we're good. I'm sorry. We're using Zoom. It's a new webinar service. I am recording this talk. If you have any questions during our time together, feel free to post them. I'll do my best to respond as quickly as I can. All right. So as we talk about anxiety, I just want to give you guys a quick background on me. For those of you who don't know me, I am a functional medicine practitioner, a doctor of chiropractic, and I've got some advanced training behind my name, really behind what I do. I have a practice. I've been in private practice in the Lake Norman region of Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been in private practice here for over 15 years. And really, we practice a different type of care with our patients. We see patients locally in our clinic in Cornelius. I also see patients all over the world through our virtual distance program, which you can learn more about on our website. My website is drakibagreen.com. It's myname.com. I am fellowship trained in integrative cancer therapy. I'm board certified in anti-aging medicine. I am a certified functional medicine practitioner. I am certified in functional neurology. I am a certified gluten practitioner, and I'm currently enrolled in Dr. Daniel Amen's clinical functional neurology program. It's called Brain Health University, or Brain MD, and it's a program that he offers other physicians in advanced functional neurology. If you don't know who Dr. Amen is, he is one of the top functional medicine doctors in the world. He's a psychiatrist who has a series of clinics known as the Amen clinics all over the country. So welcome everyone. Of course, as we talk about our talk today, we're going to get into anxiety. We do have a lot of different sources that I've used to make this talk. I love TED Talks. There's a great one, Holistic Health to Fight Anxiety, some YouTube videos that you can watch, some medical research that you can also watch, some information, studies on some of the herbs that I'm going to talk about, chamomile, peppermint, superfoods, some effects on the environment on anxiety, the importance of your environment, lighter spaces, exercise on mental illness, the gut-brain relationship, the flow state we're going to get into, yoga. So I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff. But all these resources that I have available, I will make sure that I post on our Facebook page when I post this talk live, hopefully tomorrow. We'll post tonight's live talk on Facebook tomorrow. All right, so anxiety 101. For those of you who are accustomed to dealing with anxiety, it'll come as no surprise to you to know that it's one of the most commonly experienced mental illnesses among adults in America. It affects 40 million plus a year. That's almost 20% of the population. That is a tremendous amount of really people who are affected. And I think with that, we know, we've got a few people on here, but here's the curious thing about this. Only 36% of those people who are suffering with anxiety, so 40 million people have anxiety, only a third of them seek treatment at all. And that tells us several things. One of those things is that anxiety as an issue is not taken seriously enough by those who don't suffer. And again, I think that there's people who don't have anxiety. They don't do enough to help those who do. And another thing is there really must be some issues or controversy, if you will, surrounding the actual treatments of anxiety that are being recommended, or I would think that more people would take advantage of these treatments. So, I think that's really interesting. If someone you know, or if you have been prescribed drugs to help you fight anxiety, we're talking prescription medications, you'll know that medication has varying levels of success in combating these symptoms. For some people, it has positive results. For others, it just doesn't work. And that's fine for the small percentage who see results. But what about those who don't get results? Now, 65% of anxiety sufferers in America currently take prescription medications daily. 43% take those medications regularly. So people who have anxiety take medications, and that's a large percentage of people who take medications, but they don't take medications for their anxiety. In fact, the statistics show that only 10% of those who suffer from anxiety are receiving adequate treatment. It's also worrying to consider that out of all the people struggling with anxiety and actually receiving over-the-counter treatment, that such a low percentage is effective at all. In fact, it only strengthens the suggestion that the solution is more probably not pharmaceutically based, or at the very least that anxiety drugs are not for everyone. So holistic health, what we do is functional medicine, holistic health, a natural approach to health, if you will. It's becoming increasingly popular. You think about it, the rise of all these wealthy pharmaceutical companies continues to dominate the medical industry. And what we're pushed from pill to pill to pill isn't always the best treatment, but it may be the quickest remedy, and sometimes it harms us. And there's a real dissatisfaction with modern medical care, and it's not the only reason for the surge in interest, however. So we do know that that's out there, but with any ideas worth spreading, the concept of treating imbalances and diseases such as anxiety with natural holistic methods is something that comes with a firm, reliable basis, and it also dates back thousands of years. People want a natural approach to help their problems. They would rather not rely on a pharmaceutical or chemical approach if they can help it. Now, what is holistic healthcare? Holistic healthcare takes into account all of the varying aspects of life and the individual as potential causes and remedies to disease. This means all aspects of physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual health, which contribute to the overall well-being of the individual. As so much of modern day healthcare focuses on attacking the illness, as opposed to creating overall health, holistic healthcare can be viewed as an overall more wholesome approach to creating and sustaining better health. There are few imbalances of the body and mind that cannot be treated with holistic remedies. And so those who suffer with anxiety are no exception. Most treatments that are out there can help people. I should say most conditions that are out there have natural treatments that can help people. And as awareness of mental health issues like anxiety continues to spread, experts from around the world have begun to study the benefits of enlisting holistic health measures to combat anxiety instead of the addictive lure of prescription drugs, especially with the increasing rise in opiate overuse and abuse that we are now seeing in our country. A natural approach is something that is not just a better approach, but is a requirement for modern mental health disease management. So one of the main contributing factors to optimal health, which holistic healthcare deals with, is diet. Eating foods promotes a healthy body and mind, but also takes into account individual lifestyle and activity factors. And again, eating these foods which promote a healthy body and mind is key to achieving balance in both physical and mental health. In terms of anxiety, there are certain foods which can make your anxiety worse or help relieve the symptoms of the disorder. Depending on the severity of your symptoms and the person's physical health, functional medicine practitioners such as myself will definitely recommend certain foods to assist with relieving the symptoms of anxiety. So some foods that increase the severity of anxiety include caffeine, refined sugar, even some fruits. They have, they're natural fruits. Fruits are natural, but they still have sugar in them. They've got natural sugars that can metabolize just like regular sugar that you would put out of a container. How about fried foods, hydrogenated oils, fast food, high sodium foods, trans fats, processed foods, soy, and alcohol. Now, while some of these are more obvious than others, foods such as refined sugar, those high in sodium, trans fats, and hydrogenated oils can be hard to identify unless clearly specified on the packaging. It's best to avoid the food chosen if there's any hint of uncertainty. I can tell you, in my functional medicine work, I do a lot of discussions and I talk a lot about food labels and really what diet my patient should be on. And we use a lot of different dietary approaches depending on the patient's condition. But you really have to read the labels and you have to understand there are a lot of hidden words that can define different types of food groups, whether it's an oil or fat or gluten or sugar. A lot of things can label as it. All right, so what do we eat then? Well, it seems that the list of foods containing elements that can prove bad or triggering for your anxiety is pretty big. It's possible to eat a healthy, balanced diet, which also lends itself to a calm state of mind. Foods such as root vegetables, they contain vital grounding and soothing properties. They help ease the effects of cortisol and other stress-related hormones, as well as foods rich in B vitamins, antioxidants, and omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids are vital for our brains to function properly, and they regulate hormone release. So wild salmon, walnuts, flaxseed, and chia seeds all have very good forms of omega-3 fatty acids, and so are some examples of foods that we can eat. Other foods which are known to benefit the symptoms of anxiety include blueberries, almonds, spinach, broccoli, spirulina, raspberries, dark chocolate, quinoa, and red lentils. Curiously, a lot of these foods that we're talking about are actually what are considered superfoods. And this is a term that some of us have become accustomed to hearing in the health and wellness worlds, and take this superfood for this condition or this condition. What we're talking about is just simply foods that contain higher levels of beneficial nutrients, minerals, and vitamins in direct proportion to how big they are. And so they're excellent holistic sources of anxiety-reducing nutrients. Now, how about B vitamins specifically? Now, these are some of the most happy hormone-inducing foods of all. Eating foods rich in these B vitamins assists with the relief of anxiety. Obviously, avocados are an example, but green vegetables such as spinach and asparagus are some of the foods that you can also include in your diet to start combating the effects of those high levels of cortisol. B vitamins, folic acid can also be found in beef, pork, chicken, leafy greens, legumes, oranges, other citrus fruits, rice, nuts, or eggs. And the effects of B vitamins, they vary. However, the extremity of the anxiety can really impact how well these will help you. In fact, somebody who has acute anxiety may not have much success with B vitamin supplementation or dietary support. Someone who has a milder form of anxiety may notice that certain foods they eat help them tremendously. But it's worth trying, and that's the thing, it's definitely worth trying. And there's a lot of B vitamin supplements that you can try to find out which one is best for you. So B vitamins are water soluble. They occur in 8 forms. What we're talking about is B1, 2, 3, B5, B6, which is also known as P5P, pyridoxal 5-phosphate, B7, folic acid or B9, and B12. They're necessary for proper brain function. And I think it's important to understand that with B vitamins, if you have chronic health issues, there's a term that you need to be familiar with. It's called methylation. It's a big $3 medical term, but it really impacts how you use these B vitamins on a genetic level, and it can drive inflammation, it can drive anxiety, it can drive other imbalances like fatigue, headaches, nervousness, irritability, cramping, tingling in the hands and feet, or nausea. And you may have a deficiency in B vitamins if you have these symptoms, or you may have an inability to use B vitamins if you have these symptoms as well. All right, and moving on, we have something called traditional Chinese medicine that I love. I use a wide range of forms of traditional Chinese medicine in my clinic, and as more and more medical schools and practices begin to integrate the emphasis on the mind-body connection and holistic medicine to modern-day treatments, the age-old practice of traditional Chinese medicine still remains one of the most deeply rooted and effective traditions in medicine history. The origin of many holistic remedies and treatments that we use today in the Western world comes from what the ancient Chinese herbalists, who relied on nature and their own understandings of the human body and mind to help prevent and cure diseases, came up with. I mean, these things are, a lot of these therapies that we use today go back thousands of years to ancient concepts. And, their focus in the ancient Chinese medical world was on the prevention of the onset of disease. And that's where we see many of the effects most directly in support today. So there's many stories of herbalists, medicine men, living well past the average life expectancy in their era. And, they followed an herbally supplemented and longevity boosting lifestyle. And that's testament to the power of these natural remedies. Even the all-powerful Chinese emperors who experienced direct access to the remedies and experts that we're talking about, they overall actually exhibited a shorter life expectancy than the Buddhist monks and the medicine men of their era. And I think the conclusion to that was simply that money, power, and exposure to treatments doesn't mean anything in terms of health and longevity if a healthy, balanced lifestyle is not observed and if the individual does not take responsibility for his or her health. It's obvious that the few leaders who took direct interest in their own health and well-being and actively sought to create a healthy balance by engaging in exercise, healthy diet, and balanced levels of indulgence had longer lives. Now, taking responsibility and interest in one's own health and lifestyle changes can be seen in this case as a huge element of functional medicine, a holistic healthcare. And it's such a part of this extremely personal and tailored approach to your individual needs. So what you need is going to be different than another one of my patients. And I think that we have to really look at and say, let's cultivate awareness of your own individual needs during your treatment. And this is what any, hopefully, holistic practitioner will ask of you and aim to promote. If a doctor takes a system and says it's going to be their system only, regardless of individualized input, then they're not really going to help improve your health where they need to. And that's, I think, something you have to address. All right. With anxiety, peppermint is huge. And of course, stemming from the traditional Chinese medicine methods of healing and prevention, many strains of herbs and remedies lend themselves to consumption in the form of teas. So tea leaves have been acknowledged around the world as one of the most effective natural remedies for fighting signs of stress and anxiety. And the beautiful thing about this kind of treatment against symptoms of anxiety is that the effects can be felt almost immediately, and the herbs are so readily available. And one of the best reasons to enlist the help of herbs like chamomile in treatment of illness and disease is that unlike many modern medicine treatments, there's no toxic fallout after the body is finished processing the benefits of the tea. So herbs like chamomile and lavender have specific healing and soothing qualities, which means that drinking water infused with these leaves can have an almost immediate and lasting effect on anxiety. The natural stress relievers have been used as remedies in recipes for centuries all over the world and are widely available in the form of tea leaves. Chamomile preparations are also used for many other common ailments: hay fever, inflammation, muscle spasms, menstrual disorders, insomnia, ulcers, wounds, gastrointestinal disorders, rheumatic pain, and hemorrhoids. Now, peppermint is another readily available herb which lends itself to soothing the effects of stress and anxiety in the form of herbs or oil. And an oil is naturally extracted from the herb. It can be used in many different ways. And consuming peppermint tea when stressed or before bed is a great way to immediately calm the nervous system, prepare it for a state of calm and sleep. So the menthol base in peppermint is a natural muscle relaxant, and it promotes the physical sensations required to relax the body and ready it for sleep. Teas such as peppermint, chamomile, and lavender have no caffeine, so they're much preferable to coffee for soothing the effects of anxiety. Peppermint also assists with digestion, headaches, and can help create a cooling effect, which counteracts the heated fear associated with panic attacks. Now, peppermint is a natural energizer. It promotes clear skin and sinuses, all of which obviously aid with easing anxiety themselves. One aspect of holistic healthcare that's also underrated in terms of the impact it can have on mental health and anxiety specifically is our environment. So the place where the anxious person lives, where they work, and the people they surround themselves with can work as contributing factors to how much anxiety you have, to your heightened level of anxiety. The trouble is many people who struggle with anxiety, they neglect to consider their direct environment as a realistic factor to their suffering. And that becomes easy to blame themselves as opposed to the actual external contributing factors. So holistic healthcare methods, functional medicine methods suggest that in order to lower the effects of anxiety, the environment that we surround ourselves in must promote a healthy, positive attitude towards ourselves, our work, and our relationships. It makes sense that what we experience externally impacts our senses and quality of being internally, which is our happiness and how we process it. For this reason, lighter, brighter, cleaner, and more open spaces are thought to improve symptoms of anxiety. As people in Western countries spend an increasing amount of time indoors, especially now during the colder months, the importance of positive environments is only accentuated, and holistic health professionals will recommend spending more time outdoors and in nature as a good way to combat anxiety. It's been proven that stress levels can rise in bad environments that don't lend themselves to our emotional comfort. So holistic health calls into question the environment in which you live, work, and interact with others. And it's vital that these elements be completely in balance and in line with your individual requirements in order to maximize your mental health and productivity. Think about it. If you don't feel good, if you don't feel comfortable or valued in your environment, how are you supposed to function to the height of your potential? How are you expected to do your best, be the best version of you, and feel at home in your own skin while doing so? All right, essential oils and aromatherapy. One thing that can assist with creating a more positive, calm-inducing, and anxiety-soothing home environment is by diffusing essential oils. All natural essential oils, such as lavender, peppermint, chamomile, which we've talked about, are known to have positive effects on those under stress or suffering from anxiety. So it's a good idea to have them on hand at home in order to combat these unwanted episodes of anxiety. So a lot of people know about essential oils, but some people don't. And essential oils contain tiny little molecules, aromatic molecules, that pass through the blood-brain barrier immediately and have an almost instantaneous effect on the areas of the brain associated with stress, anxiety, panic, and even depression. One of the ones that I want to touch on is lavender. And we use lavender in my clinic. My wife uses lavender at home with the kids. It's something that we use very much in our life, and it affects the central nervous system directly, which is associated with symptoms and sensations of intense anxiety and stress. Essential oils are very versatile. They can actually be used in many ways. You can diffuse them. You can incorporate them into your skin and hair care routine. And some oils are even added benefits into food. There's a lot of recipes online to enable you to get creative with your oils. The effects and uses are just as broad. We use a essential oil known as Thieves, which is a mix of essential oils to actually clean our kitchen with. And it's all natural, and there's no harmful chemicals used at all. Depending on the need of the person using it, the oil can promote different effects and target different problem areas of the mind and body. So how do you use essential oils? There's some different ways. So you can inhale them directly. So rub 1 to 2 drops in cupped palms and take a long, deep breath. Rub 1 to 2 drops of oil onto your temples, wrists, or anywhere else for full body relaxation. Put a few drops on your handkerchief, cotton pad, or a scarf and inhale as needed. If you're running and on the go, you'll get an instant calming support throughout your day. Add to your shower. Immerse yourself in essential oil steam by adding a couple of drops to your shower. Remember to plug or cover the drain, inhale deeply, put essential oils in the bath. A lot of cleaner, organic shampoos, conditioners, body washes use essential oils in them. For a long-lasting benefit, you want to use a diffuser. But it should be noted that most oils require diluting them before using them topically. Sometimes they need what's called a carrier oil, which helps it get absorbed. Olive oil is a great one. Jojoba oil, fractionated coconut oil are some different options for carrier oils. All right, how about activity? So it doesn't have to be a healthcare practitioner or a holistic health specialist or a functional medicine practitioner to tell you that exercise and keeping active is a very extremely effective way of preventing the onset of many illnesses, not just anxiety and depression. So the holistic way of approaching healthcare focuses not only on the period of recovery after an illness, but on the lifestyle as a whole during periods of wellness as well. The more integrated the holistic measures during these periods, the more optimized they become, the higher the level of overall health you can expect to experience. So exercise is one of the most invigorating and effective ways to combat periods of anxiety, stress, and depression. The endorphins that are produced after an even short 10-minute walk have very similar effects to taking aspirin for a headache. Exercise has been proven scientifically to elevate moods. More physically active people also show lower instances of anxiety and depression. There's a ton of studies, countless studies, done for both holistic and scientific purposes to investigate the effects of physical activity on the brain, which really all of them conclude that even moderate to light exercise is vital for optimum functioning and balancing of moods. Whether it's yoga, running, climbing, weightlifting, swimming. Two of my personal favorites are mountain biking and kayaking or paddleboarding. The effects of moving the body, engaging in physical exercise, unlike anything else, for achieving stress and anxiety relief. And the best way to find an activity that suits you is to simply try them. See what works for you in your lifestyle. What can you realistically incorporate into everyday life? All right, how about the gut-brain connection, the gut-brain health and digestion connection, right? If you've ever experienced indigestion, you know how bad, how uncomfortable, how stress-inducing it can be. It can render you incapable of focusing on any other task. It can make you irritable, anxious to be around. And it only happens once in a while, right? What happened if it happened every day after every meal? For anyone who suffers from celiac disease, they can be familiar with some extremes of indigestion. Even if you're not celiac, we've all experienced the discomfort, negative emotions, and bad moods that can result from a period of stomach discomfort or indigestion. That's why it came as no surprise to learn that the gut health has significant parallels to our mental health. The gut-brain connection is massive, and a lot of recent studies have proven and publicized that. Now, here's the theory. Gut bacteria is intricately linked with our brain via the nervous system, spinal cord, hormones, and immune system. There's something called the vagus nerve. It's the main communicator between all of these, and it transmits neurotransmitters from the base of the spine, which is located near the gut, all the way up to the brain. It's important because it supports the facts that we've known for a long time that functional medicine and holistic practitioners have promoted for centuries. Well, what we put into our bodies truly does have an effect on the way our mind works and the feelings of positivity and negativity that we experience. It supports the theories surrounding certain foods and their benefits and disadvantages towards promoting happiness and decreasing anxiety. Now, there's a lot of benefits to this understanding, endless benefits, mainly being that it gives us a better idea of which foods to eat to expect a larger surge of positive emotions, or at the very least, which foods to avoid to ensure we don't have negative emotions or anxiety come on board. Fibrous foods, those with nutrients easily absorbed by the digestive tract, are top of the list. Those with a denser composition rank lower. I'll see if I can post a list up for you that promotes positive digestion and gut health on Facebook in the next day or two. All right, I have something to talk about called flow state, creative anxiety relief. It's a relatively new term, flow state, and it's been coined to define a state of intense creative and productive focus, whereby the person slips into an undistracted state of intense concentration while they're completing a task. It's not a new phenomenon. Humans have been creating and focusing in such a way as flow state entails since time began. But recent developments in technology that have damaged our attention spans and the ability to focus have recently drawn awareness back to the importance and significance of achieving a state of flow, which causes a need for us to define it better. Think about Xbox and the kids. Your cell phone, always being on your phone with your head forward. I mean, it's a universal problem. And I think that the importance of flow state can be measured on a personal level. How much you focus can affect how you feel fulfilled by your work or other flow activities, and yet also on an overall level of health and well-being, as neuroscience has proven that those who engage in flow state more regularly have overall higher levels of happiness and a better sense of balance in their life. Finding your flow is a great way to ensure that your mood and sense of clarity doesn't dip too low, helping you avoid anxiety and stress and maintain productivity levels at their highest. It can also help you escape a bout of anxiety, even though doing so might prove slightly more difficult. All right, so some ways or suggestions to help you find your flow include reading a book. The simple act of reading a book has been adapted to screen time. I use my phone with the Kindle app, and we know that there's Kindles, there's tablets that you can use that are larger, more like a book size. But reading increases our ability to focus. Another principle of flow state is that the more we engage with it, the easier it becomes to access. All right, notice when you're at your most focused and productive, take note of the following. What are you doing? Who are you with? What environments are you in? What have your activity levels been like? What have your recent eating habits been like? How would you rate your overall mood, satisfaction, or anxiety levels? Although flow state is by no means exclusive to those who work in a creative field, it's been observed that a large percentage of those who suffer from acute anxiety are in fact highly creative people. This would suggest that anxious energy is simply an excess of creative energy and potential that a lack of direction has caused to manifest as stress. If so, it's a case of redirecting this energy solely towards the task at hand and not allowing anxious thoughts to drive awareness elsewhere. Much like training your mind to read, to study, or to focus on any task you have to complete, Flow state takes consistent and repeated engagement to become easier to use. And don't worry if it doesn't come immediately, just be sure to notice it when it does. All right, we're almost done. Yoga and meditation. So yoga and meditation are both activities which have been proven to improve and assist in accessing our flow state. By consistently engaging our bodies and our minds into a state of internal focus and concentration in the form of physical postural movements, they call it asanas in yoga, mindful breathing techniques, they're called pranayama, and directing awareness to thoughts and emotions as they arise, or meditation, we can begin to access a state of mind-body harmony and awareness. This focus and awareness, when sustained with over a period of time, is ultimately a prime example of the human mind in a state of flow. So yoga and meditation are hugely beneficial in combating symptoms of anxiety and stress. By promoting a sense of ease, a sense of well-being within our bodies and minds, yoga and meditation succeed in reducing the intensity of a hormone our adrenal gland makes called cortisol, as well as other anxiety-related hormones, and it can give us tools to use against the onset of those hormones in future times of struggle. So a lot of Western yoga classes today focus on the physical aspect of the practice, using yoga as a workout, if you will. The physical fitness is attainable by practicing asanas is only a part of what makes yoga so beneficial. So when practiced properly, with awareness, mindful breathing, and attention to the body's individual needs, yoga and meditation can promote a sense of mental fitness as well. Combine mental fitness with physical activity and consistent levels of sustained focus, you've got a powerful holistic tool that you can use against the onslaught of your anxiety. We're almost finished, guys. We're almost at the end of our time together today. How are you feeling? Is everything going well? I hope you guys are learning a lot. I hope that there's been a great deal of information in today's Calming Your Anxiety workshop. I want to know what you think about it all. You know, if you've encountered any tips which you feel might help you to soothe stress and anxiety, you know, what's the first thing that you guys will try? You know, leave me some comments. Let's have a conversation on that. But I want to thank you for taking the opportunity to come here and really let me talk with you. I really hope that the information, the resources that I've shared and that I will share are a benefit to you. If you have any further or more personal queries, feel free to email me. Our website is drakibagreen.com. It's right on the screen right here. And our phone number is right there as well, 704-987-3993. Feel free to send an email to me at akiba@drakibagreen.com, or you can send us a message on our website as well. I just want to leave you with one last piece. If you want to learn more, if you want to learn more about our clinic, what we do to help anxiety, what we do to help other chronic neurological disorders such as attention deficit disorder, hyperactivity disorder, autism, seizure or epilepsy, Parkinson's, dementia, as well as autoimmune diseases like thyroid disease, Lyme disease, multiple sclerosis, peripheral neuropathy, chronic fatigue syndrome or ME, celiac disease, or even if you know somebody who's suffering and struggling with cancer, and they're looking for an integrative approach. Our clinic is a great option to help with a wide range of metabolic, chronic health issues, and neurological disorders. With that being said, I definitely appreciate everybody on here. I've got a couple questions out here. Cynthia, I appreciate definitely your words. I really do. Treppy. Tracy, yep, absolutely, Treppy. I'm so glad that this helps you. I know anxiety can get to all of us, and I really hope that these continue to help. These things that I talked about today are stuff that I use in my life, and there's some stuff that I can even learn as I did research for this talk to help those around me and other patients. But I thank everybody for watching. I'll have this uploaded hopefully in the next day or two onto Facebook, and be on the lookout for a whole bunch of new workshops that we're going to bring out as well. So thank you, everyone, and have a great evening.